empty aisles, missing products, and skyrocketing prices. America's food system is feeling the strain. While the headlines focus on the surface, the real story is unfolding in grocery stores, warehouses, and global supply chains. In this video, we're uncovering 5 critical food categories that are quietly disappearing from shelves, and why savvy households are already taking action to stock up. This isn't about spreading fear. It's about staying informed and prepared. If you want to protect your family from the ripple effects of these shortages, now is the time to act. The truth is, these foods are becoming harder to find and more expensive by the day. Don't wait until it's too late. Get ahead of the curve and secure what you need before the shelves are bare. Stay alert, because what's happening behind the scenes could impact us all. Let's dive in. Inference 1. Canned tomatoes and tomato paste, a pantry essential in uncertain times. Tomatoes might seem like a humble pantry staple, but they're far more important than most people realize, especially when food shortages loom. In American kitchens, tomatoes are more than just an occasional ingredient. They're a cornerstone of everyday meals. From spaghetti dinners and hearty chili to stews, soups, and even simple rice dishes, tomatoes are a go-to for adding flavor, color, and depth to countless recipes. But here's the catch. Canned tomato products like diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, and tomato paste are quietly becoming harder to find. This isn't just a coincidence or a passing trend. Behind the scenes, tomato production is facing serious challenges, and the ripple effects are starting to show up on store shelves. If you've noticed fewer options, higher prices, or the disappearance of your favorite brands, you're not imagining things. The supply of processed tomatoes is tightening, and it's happening for a reason. One of the biggest factors is extreme weather. California, the heart of America's tomato processing industry, has been hit hard by prolonged droughts and water restrictions. These conditions have significantly reduced harvests, making it harder for farmers to meet demand. At the same time, major tomato-producing countries in Europe, like Italy and Spain, are grappling with their own climate challenges. Unpredictable weather patterns and rising costs are shrinking global tomato yields, leaving less to go around. What does this mean for you? While grocery stores may still have tomato products on the shelves, the variety is shrinking and prices are creeping up. Multi-pack deals are becoming rare, and some brands have quietly disappeared altogether. This isn't just inflation, it's a sign of a supply chain under pressure. And when supply tightens, shortages often follow. Among all tomato products, tomato paste deserves special attention. Unlike fresh tomatoes, which spoil quickly, tomato paste is a concentrated, long-lasting ingredient that can transform even the simplest meals. A small can of paste can add richness, acidity, and umami to dishes, making it an invaluable tool in the kitchen. Whether you're whipping up a pasta sauce, thickening a stew, or enhancing the flavor of canned proteins, tomato paste is a versatile powerhouse. Plus, it stores for years without refrigeration, making it a perfect item to stockpile. In times of uncertainty, having canned tomatoes and tomato paste on hand isn't just about convenience, it's about adaptability. These products can serve as the foundation for a wide range of meals, from soups and curries to casseroles and sauces. They can be stretched with water, paired with beans, or simmered with herbs to create dishes that feel hearty and satisfying, even when other ingredients are scarce. The ability to cook meals that feel normal is incredibly valuable during supply chain disruptions. It's not just about feeding your family. It's about maintaining a sense of stability and comfort in a world that feels increasingly unpredictable. And that's exactly why stockpiling canned tomatoes now is a smart move. The warning signs are already here. If tomato products are becoming less accessible while they're still in relative supply, what happens when the next growing season falls short? What happens when transportation costs rise further, or when manufacturers prioritize exports over domestic shelves? These are the questions we should all be asking, and the answers are already playing out in grocery stores across the country. Canned tomatoes and tomato paste aren't luxury items. They're the backbone of countless recipes, the secret to making meals flavorful and nutritious, and a key to maintaining food security in uncertain times. By stocking up now, you're not just preparing for potential shortages, you're ensuring that your kitchen remains a place of comfort and creativity, no matter what challenges lie ahead. 2. Peanut butter and nut spreads, the unsung heroes of food security. When it comes to dependable, nutrient-packed foods that can weather supply chain disruptions, peanut butter consistently earns its place at the top of the list. And it's no surprise why. This humble pantry staple combines a long shelf life, high protein content, healthy fats, and calorie density, all in a compact jar that requires no refrigeration or preparation. In times of uncertainty, these qualities make peanut butter and other nut spreads invaluable, not just for convenience, but for sustaining energy, curbing hunger, and even providing a sense of comfort when food options are limited. What many people don't realize, however, is how fragile the supply chain for peanut butter and nut spreads has become in recent years. Behind the scenes, a perfect storm of challenges is quietly threatening the availability of these essential products. Let's start with peanuts themselves. The U.S. peanut crop has been under increasing pressure from unpredictable weather patterns. Droughts, floods, and shifting seasons are hitting key growing regions at critical times, leading to smaller harvests and lower quality yields. These disruptions don't just drive up prices, they also strain the supply, making it harder for manufacturers to keep up with demand. And demand isn't slowing down. Peanut butter remains a staple in American households, and its popularity is growing internationally, creating a bottleneck effect that's already visible in stores. But it's not just peanuts. Alternative nut spreads like almond, cashew, and sunflower seed butters are also feeling the squeeze. Many of these products rely heavily on imports, and global shipping delays, port congestion, and tighter agricultural export policies are making it harder to get these items onto shelves. As a result, the variety of nut spreads available has noticeably decreased. Some brands have scaled back production, while others have disappeared entirely. Even bulk retailers, known for their wide selection, are cutting back on premium spreads, focusing only on top-sellered items as supply chains grow more unpredictable. From a preparedness perspective, peanut butter and similar spreads are more than just a tasty treat. They're a nutritional lifeline. In situations where fresh protein sources like meat or eggs are hard to come by, a jar of peanut butter can provide a reliable backup. It doesn't require refrigeration, fuel, or additional ingredients to consume, making it one of the most versatile and low-maintenance foods you can stockpile. Whether you spread it on crackers, mix it into oatmeal, pair it with dried fruit, or eat it straight from the jar, peanut butter delivers essential nutrients in a form that's easy to store and use. What makes peanut butter especially strategic is its ability to support a balanced diet in low-risk situations. Unlike high-carb foods that provide only short-term energy, peanut butter's combination of protein and healthy fats helps sustain the body over longer periods. It aids in muscle repair, supports cognitive function, and provides lasting fullness, making it an ideal food for stretching the time between meals when grocery trips are less frequent or food supplies are delayed. The warning signs are already here. With peanut crops under stress, imports tightening, and manufacturers consolidating production, it's likely that nut spreads will become more expensive and harder to find in the near future. For households looking to build a resilient pantry, now is the time to stock up. A few jars of peanut butter or your favorite alternative can go a long way in ensuring your family has access to reliable, nutrient-dense food during uncertain times. In a world where food security is becoming increasingly fragile, peanut butter isn't just a pantry staple, it's a survival essential. By adding it to your stockpile now, you're not just preparing for potential shortages, you're investing in a food that offers both immediate nourishment and long-term peace of mind. 3. Shelf-stable milk, UHT, and evaporated, the dairy solution for uncertain times. When people think of food shortages, their minds often jump to empty shelves of bread, pasta, or canned goods. But one of the most telling signs of deeper disruptions is the gradual disappearance of dairy products, especially milk. Once considered a staple in nearly every household, milk is quietly becoming a category with unpredictable availability and rising costs. While most shoppers are preoccupied with stocking up on grains or proteins, the challenges facing the dairy industry are flying under the radar, and the impact is already being felt in stores across the country. In recent months, fresh milk has become harder to find in certain regions. Some stores have started limiting how much customers can purchase, while others are receiving late or incomplete deliveries. The reasons behind this are complex but interconnected. Feed shortages, skyrocketing energy costs, and the downsizing of dairy herds as farmers struggle to stay afloat. Producing milk is no small feat. It requires a steady supply of water, grain, transportation, and cold storage, all of which have been hit hard by rising fuel prices and climate disruptions. These challenges are making the dairy supply chain one of the most fragile in today's market. As fresh milk becomes more expensive and less reliable, many households are turning to shelf-stable alternatives like UHT milk and evaporated milk. These products are no longer just convenient backups, they're becoming essential items for anyone looking to build a resilient pantry. UHT milk, or ultra-high temperature milk, is treated with high heat and sealed in special packaging, allowing it to stay fresh for up to a year or more without refrigeration until opened. That's more than a fridge. It's versatile, tasting similar to fresh milk, and can be used in everything from coffee and cereal to baking and cooking. Available in whole and low-fat varieties, UHT milk is a practical solution for households that want to ensure they have access to dairy without relying on refrigeration. Evaporated milk, on the other hand, is a concentrated, canned product with about 60% of its water removed. Its rich texture and slightly caramelized flavor make it ideal for soups, sauces, desserts, and even as a milk substitute when mixed with water. Both UHT and evaporated milk are nutritional powerhouses, offering essential calcium, protein, and fats that are difficult to replace when fresh dairy becomes scarce. In times of crisis, it's not just about having enough calories. It's about maintaining access to nutrients that support bone health, immune function, and sustained energy. Shelf-stable milk provides a reliable source of these nutrients even when fresh dairy products are unavailable or refrigeration is uncertain. This makes it a critical addition to any long-term food stockpile. The signs of change are already visible in many stores. Shelf-stable milk is taking up more space than before, not because there's an abundance of it, but because fresh milk deliveries are becoming less consistent. Retailers are shifting their inventory strategies, prioritizing products that are easier to store and transport. This isn't a temporary adjustment, it's a response to a strained supply chain, and it's a signal that consumers should take seriously. For those preparing for potential shortages, shelf-stable milk is no longer just a backup plan, it's a frontline necessity. Stocking up on UHT milk or cans of evaporated milk ensures that your household has access to versatile, nutrient-rich dairy options even in the face of supply chain disruptions. These products can stretch meals, support daily nutrition, and reduce the stress of unpredictable grocery trips. In a world where food systems are under increasing pressure, shelf-stable milk stands out as a smart and essential choice. By adding it to your pantry now, you're not just preparing for what might happen, you're securing a reliable source of nutrition that can help your family weather the challenges ahead. Or, frozen or dehydrated mixed vegetables, the nutritional lifeline you can't overlook. When it comes to food shortages, most people focus on staples like grains, canned goods, or proteins. But one of the most unpredictable and quietly affected categories is fresh produce. At first glance, supermarket shelves may still appear stocked with fruits and vegetables, but behind the scenes, the system that keeps those shelves full is under immense strain. Crop failures, erratic weather patterns, skyrocketing fertilizer costs, and disruptions in long-haul shipping are all creating cracks in the supply chain. The result? Rising prices in some areas, disappearing products in others, and a growing sense of instability in the availability of fresh vegetables. While much of the attention is on the fresh produce section, there's another shift happening that's flying under the radar: the slow but steady reduction in frozen vegetable options. Frozen mixed vegetables, those convenient pre-cut blends of carrots, peas, corn, green beans, and more, have been a quiet hero in kitchens for decades. They're affordable, versatile, and packed with nutrients, making them a go-to for families looking to add balance to their meals. Unlike fresh vegetables, which spoil quickly and require constant restocking, frozen vegetables can last for months, even years when stored properly. Here's the catch: the variety of frozen vegetables available in stores is shrinking. Bulk bags are becoming harder to find, restocking is slower, and some brands are quietly disappearing altogether. This isn't random. It's a calculated response by distributors who are bracing for future shortages. If you've noticed fewer options in the freezer aisle, it's not your imagination. The supply of frozen vegetables is tightening, and it's happening quietly, without much fanfare. For those with reliable freezing capacity, especially if you have a backup power source like a generator, stocking up on frozen mixed vegetables is one of the smartest moves you can make. These blends retain most of their nutritional value, cook quickly, and provide essential fiber, vitamins, and minerals that are hard to replace if your diet becomes reliant on grains, canned proteins, or starch-heavy foods during a crisis. In emergency situations, when digestion slows, immunity weakens, and energy levels drop, the nutrients in vegetables can make a significant difference in maintaining your health and well-being. But what if you don't have the freezer space or are preparing for long-term power outages? That's where dehydrated mixed vegetables come in. These aren't the bland, powdered soup bases you might be imagining. High-quality, dehydrated vegetables are carefully cut, dried, and sealed for long-term storage, often lasting up to 20 years. They rehydrate quickly in water and can be added to soups, stews, rice, or pasta. You can even snack on them as is if needed. A small jar of dehydrated vegetables can expand into multiple servings, providing essential nutrients in a lightweight, compact form that's easy to store and ration. Unlike canned vegetables, which are heavier and take up more space, dehydrated options are incredibly efficient for long-term storage. They're also less likely to go to waste, as you can use only what you need and save the rest for later. In a world where food shortages are becoming a reality, vegetables are often overlooked in prepping conversations. But that's a mistake. Without the fiber, vitamins, and minerals they provide, the body struggles to function properly over time. Stocking up on frozen or dehydrated mixed vegetables isn't just about adding variety to your meals. It's about maintaining balance in your diet when balance becomes harder to achieve. These vegetables are a nutritional lifeline, offering the kind of sustenance that keeps your body and mind functioning at their best, even in challenging times. The signs are already here. Frozen vegetable options are quietly shrinking, and the demand for shelf-stable alternatives is growing. Don't wait for these products to disappear entirely. By securing frozen or dehydrated mixed vegetables now, you're not just preparing for potential shortages, you're ensuring that your family has access to the nutrients they need to stay healthy and resilient, no matter what the future holds. 5. Instant noodles and ramen blocks. The underrated survival staple. When it comes to stockpiling for food shortages, instant noodles might not be the first thing that comes to mind. Often associated with quick, budget-friendly meals for college students or busy families, ramen is rarely seen as a serious contender in emergency preparedness. But that's exactly why it's often overlooked. Until it's too late. In the context of food shortages, these compact, shelf-stable blocks of noodles take on a whole new level of importance. Instant noodles are lightweight, easy to store, and require minimal water, heat, and effort to prepare. These qualities make them one of the most efficient and practical emergency food options available today. While they may not be a complete meal on their own, they provide a solid carbohydrate base and, when paired with their seasoning packets, deliver essential salt, fat, and flavor. In times of crisis, when fresh ingredients are scarce and diets become repetitive, these elements are critical for both energy and morale. What makes ramen even more valuable is its versatility. A simple block of noodles can be transformed into a hearty, satisfying meal with just a few additions. Toss in some canned vegetables, rehydrated greens, or a scoop of shelf-stable protein like tuna or chicken, and you've got a dish that covers major nutritional needs. If you have access to fresh eggs or leftover meat, even better! Instant noodles are a blank canvas, ready to adapt to whatever ingredients you have on hand. But here's the catch. The global supply chain for instant noodles is under pressure, and the signs are already showing. The root of the issue lies in the wheat crisis. Wheat, the primary ingredient in most noodles, has been hit hard by a combination of export restrictions, extreme weather events, and rising production costs. Droughts and floods in key wheat-growing regions have reduced harvests, while geopolitical tensions have led some countries to limit grain exports. As wheat prices climb, the cost and availability of noodle production are directly impacted. Adding to the challenge is the fact that a significant portion of instant noodles sold in the U.S. is manufactured overseas, particularly in Asia. Energy shortages, rising raw material costs, and factory slowdowns in these regions have already begun to reduce production. Fewer shipments are making their way to American ports, and once current supplies run out, restocking could take much longer than expected. If history is any indicator, the demand for instant noodles will only increase during times of crisis. During the early days of the pandemic, ramen was one of the first items to vanish from store shelves. It wasn't just panic buying. People instinctively recognized its value as a long-lasting, easy-to-prepare food that could stretch far and feed many. While other products eventually returned to stores, instant noodles remained scarce in many areas for months. This pattern is a clear warning of what could happen again, especially with today's strained global food system. For those preparing for potential shortages, instant noodles are more than just a convenience food. They're a strategic reserve. They're compact enough to fit into any emergency kit, affordable enough to buy in bulk, and versatile enough to pair with other stockpiled items to create meals that feel complete. Whether you're building a pantry for long-term resilience or simply looking for a reliable backup, ramen deserves a spot on your list. The time to act is now. With wheat supplies tightening, production slowing, and global shipping delays becoming the norm, the availability of instant noodles could shrink faster than expected. By stocking up today, you're not just preparing for the possibility of empty shelves, you're ensuring that your family has access to a reliable, adaptable food source that can make all the difference in challenging times. As food shortages become an increasingly real and pressing concern, preparation is no longer just a good idea, it's a necessity. The key to navigating these challenges lies in building a stockpile that's not only practical, but also strategic. From canned tomatoes and peanut butter to shelf-stable milk, frozen vegetables, and instant noodles, each of these items plays a unique role in ensuring your family's food security during uncertain times. These aren't just random pantry staples, they're carefully chosen for their long shelf life, nutritional value, and versatility. They provide the foundation for balanced meals, even when fresh options are limited or unavailable. By stocking up now, you're not just preparing for potential shortages, you're taking control of your family's well-being and peace of mind. The signs of disruption are already here, from shrinking product varieties to rising prices and delayed restocking. Waiting until shelves are empty is not a strategy, it's a risk. The time to act is now. Start small, build consistently, and focus on foods that offer both sustenance and adaptability. Remember, preparation isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. By securing these essential stockpiles, you're ensuring that no matter what happens, you'll have the resources to keep your family nourished, healthy, and resilient. Stay sharp, stay prepared, and take action today.